This was not a weak nation. Thamud stood proud of what their own hands had built.
They did not inherit comfort. They carved it, stone by stone, into the mountains.
Their skills impressed them so deeply that gratitude slowly turned into arrogance.
They spoke of strength, not responsibility, and believed no force could touch them. In their meetings, power was praised, but humility was never mentioned.
Then came Ṣāliḥ, a man from among them, calling them back to Allah. He warned them gently, worship Allah alone, and do not abuse His favors.
But pride interrupted the message before it reached their hearts.
They demanded proof, not to believe, but to challenge.
From that solid rock, they said, bring us a living sign.
Ṣāliḥ stood silent, then turned to Allah in prayer.
Before their eyes, the mountain answered.
Stone split, and life emerged. A miracle they demanded, now standing among them.
This is real.
And with the miracle came a command. The she-camel became part of their daily life, yet their hearts never truly accepted her. Each time her day arrived, whispers grew louder among those who felt threatened.
They whispered among themselves, questioning a command they never accepted.
Every other day, our wells are silent.
A beast deciding our time?
What they called loss was actually mercy shared with the poor.
Pride refused to bow, and the seed of rebellion was planted.
This cannot continue.
The leaders of Thamud began speaking carefully, hiding anger behind calm words. They feared the camel not for its size, but for what it represented. To accept the sign meant accepting that their power was not absolute.
Instead of surrender, they began planning how to remove the reminder.
The decision was not yet spoken aloud, but hearts had already crossed the line.
A few men stepped forward, chosen not for wisdom, but for cruelty.
These men were known for fear, not justice.
They met in secret, away from the eyes of the people. Each word they spoke pushed them further from repentance. The plan was sealed, and the night held its breath. The men moved silently, each step echoing the weight of their decision.
The she-camel grazed unaware, a symbol of mercy in the valley.
The first whispers of betrayal filled the mountain air.
They plotted how to test their courage against a divine command.
Fear and pride now walked hand in hand with their every step. The night grew deeper, but their resolve only hardened. The she-camel's calm presence mocked their arrogance. They spoke in hushed tones, planning without mercy or conscience. The valley seemed peaceful, yet tension hung heavy in every corner. Every heartbeat carried the weight of their rebellion. As they approached, the camel remained unaware of the danger around her. Their whispers carried fear and envy, binding them to their fateful plan. Each step they took echoed in the valley like a drum of doom. The night held its breath, as if the mountains themselves watched. In that stillness, the seeds of destruction were quietly sown. The men's eyes met in silent agreement, their plan now unstoppable. Every shadow in the valley seemed to stretch toward their mischief. The first touch of betrayal brushed against the innocent. A hush fell over the valley, thick with tension and anticipation. In their hearts, arrogance drowned out the voice of mercy. The night was still, yet every heartbeat betrayed the tension among them. They whispered strategies, each word heavier than the last. The first step of betrayal was carefully measured and deliberate. Even the mountains seemed to hold their breath in silent judgment.
The choice between arrogance and humility was now set in motion.
The men drew closer to the camel, hearts pounding with silent anticipation.
Every step carried the weight of arrogance and defiance against divine command.
They whispered instructions, ensuring no one would falter in the plan. The night seemed to hold its breath as destiny unfolded quietly. In that silence, arrogance and envy sealed the fate of many. The first men reached the camel, their intentions hidden in shadows. Whispers of fear and envy echoed quietly through the valley. The she-camel's innocence contrasted sharply with their dark thoughts. Every heartbeat in the valley carried the weight of impending doom. The night whispered warnings that pride refused to hear. The men's shadows danced on the stone walls as they closed in. The air was thick with the tension of choices yet to be made.
They took deliberate steps, every motion calculated to avoid notice.
Whispers of envy mixed with fear as the plan unfolded.
The valley held its breath, knowing that mercy had almost passed them by.
The men's faces were set, their resolve unshaken by fear or doubt.
Every whisper carried secrets of envy, arrogance, and silent defiance. Their plan unfolded slowly, each step a test of patience and nerve. In the stillness of the night, destiny silently waited to strike. The choices of a few would decide the fate of many.
The first move was made, careful and deliberate, under the moonlight.
The valley's silence seemed almost sacred, yet it held fear in every corner. Every heartbeat echoed with the weight of unspoken consequences. The night carried secrets of envy, arrogance, and a test of obedience. The calm before the storm was as fragile as their arrogance. The leaders gathered quietly, their faces hiding envy behind pride.
They spoke in low voices, fearing the truth more than the miracle.
The miracle had united the poor, and that frightened the powerful.
Control over water meant control over people, and they felt it slipping.
And slowly, resentment hardened into a dangerous decision. The men exchanged hurried whispers, the weight of their choice pressing down. Each step forward brought them closer to the test they could not escape. Fear and envy whispered, but arrogance refused to yield. The valley seemed to watch silently as destiny began to unfold. Every breath carried the weight of choices that would echo through time. The first hand reached out, trembling slightly under the moon's glow. Whispers of doubt and defiance spread quietly among them. The night held its breath, waiting for what would come next. Every glance between them carried secrets of envy and pride. The valley's silence was deceptive, hiding the storm that approached. The men's shadows blended with the cliffs, their intentions hidden. Every step was measured, every glance calculated with care. The night seemed alive with secrets, unseen yet deeply felt. Each breath they took carried the weight of unseen judgment. The silence before action was thick, the valley holding its secret. The plan moved forward silently, with tension thick in the air. Every glance carried unspoken warnings and fleeting doubts. The camel grazed, unaware of the storm quietly unfolding. The night held its breath, every moment a test of courage. Destiny and choice intertwined, the valley silently judging.
The night air was thick with tension as the men readied themselves.
Every rustle and whisper felt amplified in the silent valley.
Their plan demanded patience, each movement carefully measured.
The valley seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the first action.
The moment of choice was upon them, silent yet unavoidable. The men exchanged quick glances, silently confirming their daring plan. Every heartbeat was amplified by the silence of the valley. The night concealed their intentions, but the consequences were near. The valley watched silently as destiny slowly unfolded. One small misstep could change everything in this delicate night.
The men's shadows blended into the cliffs, their courage tested by fear.
Every step was deliberate, every glance sharp with suspicion. The night seemed endless, each moment heavy with anticipation. Fear, envy, and pride collided in their silent decisions.
The valley held its secret, watching every move they made.
The smallest movement echoed like thunder in the silent valley. Whispers of envy stirred as the plan edged closer to action. The night's calm was deceptive, hiding the storm to come. Every heartbeat was measured, every breath a test of courage. The valley seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the first sign of defiance. The air was thick with tension as the men prepared for the inevitable. Even the shadows seemed to whisper warnings of what was to come.
Every glance and gesture carried hidden meanings among them.
The night was silent, yet the tension spoke louder than words. Destiny moved quietly, its shadow stretching over every decision. The men's movements were precise, every step calculated for success. The Valial's silence seemed to stretch time, amplifying their tension.
Whispers passed between them, carrying both fear and determination.
The night watched silently, the valley holding its breath. Every heartbeat was a drum of fate, echoing through the still air. The men's eyes were fixed on their goal, hearts racing with anticipation. Each step forward was deliberate, avoiding even the slightest noise. The silent valley seemed alive, observing every move with patience. Tension mounted as the night pressed on, unyielding and still. The Valor held its secret, silent witnesses to every choice. The men paused briefly, listening to the quiet hum of the valley. Every glance was measured, every step weighed with care. The night was still, but anticipation thrummed through the air. Plans whispered under the moonlight, shaping fate in silence. The valley seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the first move. The first act of defiance was about to unfold, hidden in shadows. Whispers of fear and envy intertwined as plans took shape. Every step forward was a gamble, every glance a test of courage. The valley watched silently, keeping secrets of the night. And with the first touch of arrogance, destiny began its reckoning.